Hello, hello. Let's see, how do I look? I'm pretty central. What's good, y'all? My name is. It's me and Bug right here. Hello. My name is Z. And I'm wanting to get more consistent at making YouTube videos. Have you ever felt like so terrified to express yourself, whether that be in an art, to sing in front of someone, to dance in front of someone, because you're scared of embarrassment or scared of being cringe? If so, let's talk about the word cringe, because that has come up so much for me lately in terms of reframing and reorganizing and redefining what that word means to me. Because for the longest time, cringe actually deeply affected me. I'm 27 right now, so I graduated high school in 2016, and I'll say from like 2012, so like freshman year of junior high, maybe even in junior high, up until like a couple years after, or up until now, like I've been terrified to be made fun of, to express myself fully and be seen as weird or cringe. And it's honestly just tore me up from the inside out, to where I just became like a robot. And that's where depression started, was because of the lack of expression that I was showing. And cringe is such a powerful word in our day and age, because it's literally used as a way to attack someone, but that's based on someone else's preference, right? So it's like if I just watch a video of someone expressing themselves a certain way, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cringe. But like they have 100,000 people in love with them, you know? Like, so at one point, does cringe come from a place of jealousy even, you know? Can we talk about that for a sec? Maybe calling someone out for being cringe might be actually the person that's saying the word or calling them out is actually jealous of the way that they express themselves. Maybe not the way they express themselves, but maybe jealous that they do express themselves, but they, at the same time, they don't wouldn't express themselves in that way, so therefore it's cringe, it's wrong. But isn't that like the purpose of reality, is to be unique and to be different and to be our own versions of ourselves? And so I feel like that's kind of the journey that I'm really stepping into and have been for the last little bit, but like, God, it feels like it's coming in so hard right now, to really like step into my weirdness and to stop like conforming and worrying about what other people think. Because growing up, I don't know where this comes from. I'm still navigating this realm of like why I never fit in like many friend groups. I was always like socially kind of awkward, but like I got along with everyone. I was like kind of friends with everyone, but it didn't feel like I really had any friends, if that makes sense. I kind of was just an observer and like almost like an alien trying to like fit in, because that's what I'm supposed to do. And now I'm just like, what the hell? What the fuck? You know, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm done trying to not be weird in terms of what everyone else thinks is weird, you know? Because, like, in my reality, what anyone else does is actually weird, because in my definition of weird is that it's different than me. And so, like, being average or common is actually not healthy, in my opinion, because you're conforming to a group way of being, which there's aspects of that is important. But one thing I loved in Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, it's like his autobiography, is he'll see something he likes in other people, and he'll be like, that's mine, I'll take that. And so it's like really learning discernment, especially as you're waking up and realizing that there's more to this reality than just the human experience, and that we are actually just having human experience as like a consciousness, that your environment, your inputs are your outputs. Your inputs are your outputs, meaning what you bring in is what actually is what you're expressing. But that's mostly unconscious, right? And let me explain. because for the longest time I was just listening to certain music. I was watching certain shows without like just like, oh, I'm enjoying this, and it was just like kind of like my inputs, what I was bringing in. Like I was like changing the way I was speaking. I was changing the way I was interacting. Like if you watch shows that has so much drama and you're unconsciously like watching it, you're being programmed to kind of like act in that way as well. Nico, that's enough, buddy. Stop it. Lay down. Hey, Nico. Stop, dude. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. But if you can get to I had to take a break from hard, like darker movies and TV shows and darker music because I had to like completely like detox from that. And now I feel like I can watch that stuff every once in a while because I do enjoy like a good like Game of Thrones style show, but there's a lot of like betrayal and deceiving and killing. These are things that are like not great for the system to be receiving unless you want that to be your output. Like no judgment. You're the creator, right? So it's important to become aware of what you are consuming, and if you choose to consume it consciously. Like honestly, I've consumed in watching like Bachelor in Paradise. Kind of hate it, but like it's making me realize who I don't want to be because I'm like watching it in a conscious way and I'm like analyzing that's not okay. Instead of like the old me would have been like, this is crazy. Look at them draw. Look at this drama. And I still kind of do that, but I'm like now I'm just like, how are these grown ass adults acting like elementary kids, you know? And I'm not any better than them. Like there's still programs and still things that I do that I'm like working on changing. But like, so it's not from a place of judgment. It's a place of like awareness. Like, damn, this is wild. I do not want to act that way. So it's like it's a good way to like shift your beliefs even by watching things you don't agree with, I guess. So to bring that back full circle into like cringe, I kind of went off on a tangent there. That's kind of my mind sometimes, and that's what I'm working on. Is like staying on one direct path instead of like trickling. Because sometimes my mind like webs out, and so I'll sometimes get lost on different threads. Not lost, but like it will like lead to a new angle. But I really want to get back into the word the idea of cringe and fear of embarrassment. Like another aspect of it that is so important is to when we are cringing at someone else, it's a lack of acceptance of them, of who they are, or who they are wanting to become, or who they're attempting to become. Like people, we're out here trying to figure shit out, and maybe that's not even the purpose of life, because I don't think we'll ever figure it out fully, But we're all on the same path of exploring this reality, and I find it very important to accept others, even if you don't agree with the way that they express themselves. And by that I mean like when someone, because it's not even. Like, because there are things that you don't have to accept, like the way someone treats another person. But there's ways that people express themselves, like maybe a way someone cries. Like maybe they cry kind of obnoxiously, like obnoxiously. I use that word gently. But like it's kind of, a wild cry. And it's like learning how to love that and accept that allows for them to 100% be, because if we're all consciously or unconsciously creating this reality, then we're actually playing a part in each other's reality, because we all come from the one consciousness, the one God. And so for that matter, it is so important to accept others for where they're at and who they're being and who they want to become, and allow that, especially if it's out of good intention, and so the message I'm really wanting to portray here is to let's change our definition of the word cringe. Like maybe it can still be a physical sensation, because like there are times where I cringe at like in a scary movie where it's like, oh, it just makes you like ugh, and And that's okay. I feel like that's obviously a normal human reaction to something that like is unnerving. But I feel like we've been programmed to cringe at others that are outside of the norm. Um, and that is the purpose, to be who you are, your authentic self, all that you are, and shine as brightly as you are meant to shine, because that's why we're here. We're here to be unique. We're here to be one with God and be a part of God and showcase this version of God that is Z in this case. And so may we continue to be ourselves and show up and practice and just putting ourselves out there. And that's kind of the purpose of these videos now for me, is to find myself more, to really explore who I am, and to put it out there, because there's nothing on the line if I don't, if I just make these videos for myself, it's good, but it's good for me. But when I post them, that's when the real shit, that's when it gets real. And yeah, it kind of puts a little more, feels like there's a little more on the line, but also like it feels more empowering, because it's like, fuck it, I don't care what anyone thinks. So it's like, for me, it's been empowering, and it has been scary for sure. So with that being said, I will end this video here. If you watched this far, thank you. If you have any thoughts, please let me know. And remember, take what I say, take what resonates, and leave what doesn't. Leave any feedback, comments that you have, and yeah, continue to be who you are, and use your own discernment, because nothing I say is true unless you believe it to be. And yeah, so that being said, have a beautiful day. Much love.